Hi everyone, it's Pastor Jake with our Bible study today, Romans chapter 1, verses 18 through 23. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of people who suppress the truth by their wickedness, since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools, and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being in birds and animals and reptiles. This is a really important passage that starts a long string in the book of Romans that outlines this twisting of the creator-creation relationship that we have done as human beings in order to build ourselves up, to reject God's decrees and God's morality and God's standards, and to proclaim ourselves as king. It's a very important passage that starts off this long passage all the way through the book of Romans. And it's wrapped up in this verse 19. Since what has been made known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. Okay, how has God made it plain to them? He's made it plain to them through the creation of the world. In verse 20, God has revealed himself through the world that we live in, through the universe, through the mountains, through the stars, through the sky, through everything that we come in contact with on a daily basis is evidence of God's power and his nature, how beautiful he is, how strong he is, how present he is. And we have no excuse, as it says in verse 20, to reject God and to say this all happened by accident, which is exactly what the world around us has said. And God is not pleased by the rejection of himself. Okay, that we have taken a beautiful connection between us and God, and we have twisted that so that we are now trying to be the one in control. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. That's what happened to every single one of us. As we continue to read through Romans 3, every single one of us had a darkened heart. We were fools. We were wicked. We were godless because of the twisting that each and every one of us has done to the creator-creation relationship. We have no longer put ourselves in a position where we glorify God for who he is and what he has revealed. We are no longer in a spot where the natural order of our mind is to give glory and praise to God. It is to build ourselves up. And this, Paul goes into more detail when we get to Romans chapter 3 about this, but no one is immune from this. Every single one of us has taken this creator-creation relationship. Every single one of us has twisted it in such a way that our hearts have been darkened. Okay? Not our hearts have become morally neutral. Not that our lives have become neutral to God and now we have to make a decision of whether we're going to follow God or not. No. Romans chapter 1, all the way through the book of Romans, says that our hearts were darkened, that we became evil, that we became rebellious to God, we became enemies to God, we became everything that God is, we became the opposite of. And even though we look at the world and we should see that it's obvious that God is there, we have rejected that. We claim to be wise, but we become fools. So, Paul is laying out this case, as he does through the first couple chapters of Romans, that each and every one of us is a fool. Each and every one of us had a darkened heart. And we have twisted the creator-creation relationship, and it's God's responsibility and it's God's heart to put it back together again. So we'll read more about that as we continue through Romans chapter 8. I'd really encourage you to memorize verse 20. It's a very important passage in regards to this idea of general revelation, that God has revealed himself through what has been made in a very basic way, so that every single human being that has walked on this earth can see clearly that there is a creator who is powerful, who is strong, and who is present. The problem is that we have all rejected that God. And through the sending of Jesus Christ and through God's work and sovereignty over all creation, he is restoring back to himself his people. So I hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you soon, and feel free to get in touch with me on Facebook if you have any questions or if you want any more clarification. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye-bye.